So on the topic of regret, this is what the Lord showed me, that regret is different from shame, condemnation, guilt, and unforgiveness. And it's one of the harder things to go through and be free from. When you have made a decision in your life, any decision, or a decision was made, where you feel responsible for that decision. And there's a lot of reasons why we would make some type of a decision and have regret. But you have to, you have to work through the condemnation, the shame. You have to get forgiveness, and you can go through all of that and be healed from condemnation, have no more shame, no more, no more guilt. And you've even forgiven yourself, but you still have regret. And this is what the Lord showed me about that. It's because shame and guilt and condemnation all work out of and operate and attach themselves to the lie, where regret attaches itself to truth. And it's the truth that hurts. The truth that you've lost something, okay? And every time you spend another day without what you've lost, that is truth. You've lost it. You can't get that day back, that moment back. You can't spend that holiday, whatever it is that you've, lost and you're regretting. There are some people that are living in situations where it's not fun. It's not pretty. It's not ideal. They're living with a spouse that they realize that if I would have never divorced my first spouse, I would not be living with this spouse, and this spouse is making my life, miserable, or this is not where God wants me to be. There's a lot of places that regret will find it'll say to you, you are having regret because you're not where you should be. You're not where you need to be. You gave that all up, And so while I was praying about regret, I said, well, Lord, that is truth. That's actual truth. You're living in the choice, and every day you are being faced with this choice. So how, God, I said, how do we deal with regret of the loss? And I felt that that's where hope, purpose comes into play, that you have to let God have the regret. You have to make peace with your decision. You have to say, all right, God, I did this. I fully accept it. I have lost something. Now, I'm either going to have hope that you will restore to me, and I'm going to look ahead. I'm going to press ahead. Paul said he let go of the past and he pressed forward, eyes forward, because every time you look back at what you lost, that pain is going to be there because the truth is there. What you lose, there's truth. So you have to go forward. You have to believe that there's something better. You have to understand that God has got good for you and plans better for you. And that's where your hope is a forward, eyes forward, encouragement, eyes forward, faith, eyes forward, regret, looking in the past, looking in the moment of what you've lost right then. So you always have to think ahead. Okay. And that could be an hour from now. So when I say ahead, it's in the moment and a forward. Okay. And regret has a way of always trying to come in and take that from you, always trying to come in and contaminate it. Like, let's just say that you have a hope for something and you're experiencing it and you're enjoying it. And then regret says, but if that person was with you, you could be enjoying this so much more. So, or you're right in the middle of something and something doesn't go 100% right. Regret will come in and say, well, it's because of this, this from your past has now come in. So you have to learn what the voice of regret is. You have to learn not to let it take you away, because it can literally come in and transport you back to the past, back to the moment you made the decision. It can even possibly open up the door to you being put under condemnation, shame, and guilt all over again, especially the bigger the regret, the bigger the loss, the harder it is. Okay, the harder it is. And for some of you, I really do understand that, because, some of you do have, a real regret. You have a real thing that you did. You made a mistake, and there are some really repercussions from that. And there was a deep loss from that. And now you have to go forward. And you have to say, God, that was my past. I need your help. I need a new vision, a new hope, a new purpose, or I'm never going to be able to overcome the pain of what I've lost. And sometimes we don't want to let it go. We don't want to let go of the loss. And we have to learn how to give God the pain of that, especially if we're believing for restoration. If something, was lost, if we're believing for restoration of that. And so these are just areas that you have to work through. But remember, with regret, eyes forward. Eyes forward, and then you have to hold on to what you see. Even if you see nothing, just the fact that you know that God has a plan and a purpose, and He is your hope, that right there is enough to battle regrets. Okay? Just knowing who He is. Just knowing who He is your hope. And that is a forward, in the moment, right now, forward, to carry you through, to get you through regrets. I hope that helped